Genealogist Who Tracks Down Modern-Day Slavery Practices is a documentary by Vice News on the topic of modern-day slavery in America. The documentary follows Antoinette Harrell, who is a genealogist that tracks down cases of abusive labor practices in rural southern states. Due to the serious nature regarding the topic, the documentary primarily utilizes the expository mode while incorporating participatory elements. The expository mode is the classic form of documentary. The mode is directly aimed towards the viewer to inform, educate, or advance an argument regarding the historical world. In addition, the expository mode utilizes narration in order to persuade the audience or appear authoritative to increase credibility. Furthermore, supporting visuals such as interviews, photos, archival footage, and B-roll are also employed to support the narration. These elements provide evidence, which allow the narration to appear even more authoritative and persuasive. The expository mode achieves the impression of objectivity through the manipulation of previous points. However, underlying biases are often present in order to push an agenda or viewpoint. The elements of the expository mode are prevalent within the documentary. The aim is to argue that slavery, which has long been an abolished practice since the end of the American Civil War, is still prevalent in modern America. It attempts to persuade the audience by using professional voice of God narration, which is presented by African American journalist Akil Gibbons. The fact that the voiceover is presented by an African American allows for more credibility compared to a white American delivery. As slavery is an integral part of African American history, a black narrator would be more representative and appear more knowledgeable. Additionally, historical footage and photos of old newspaper on the topic of slavery and civil rights are also used to support and add credibility to the narration. It also assists in setting the serious and grim tone prevalent throughout the documentary. Furthermore, interviews with black individuals who had been in captivity reinforces the argument that modern slavery in America exists, as they provide first-hand recollections and evidence. Although the documentary aims for an objective presentation, there are certain biases present. The fact that Vice News selectively chosen a plantation owner that appears easily detestable due to his clearly racist comments of "you'd live on my land" to the African American journalist, as well as his views supporting the Confederate South in the American Civil War, allows viewers to easily sympathize with the black journalist and the perspective that the documentary is presenting. There is a gap of silence for right presentation in the documentary, as most individuals who appear on the screen are African American, which creates a strong bias towards the African Americans. The participatory element in the documentary relates to the African American journalist Akil Gibbons' interactions with the genealogist, as well as the interviewees. The audience follows Gibbons' emotional journey of realizing that modern slavery exists. In an interview with Arthur Miller, who was kept in captivity until the early 1970s, Gibbons became extremely emotional after listening to the story of Miller. This element allows the audience to have a stronger sense of connection and empathy to those kept in captivity, as they might be influenced by Gibbons' emotions. By presenting the relationships between the journalist and the subjects, the documentary creates a higher sense of engagement and intimacy for the audience, which allows them to be more invested and interested. In relation to the individual style of the documentary, the director often utilizes close-up, shallow depth of field shots of subjects to portray their facial expressions clearly, as the topic is highly sensitive and subjects often become emotional when discussing the issue. This aspect allows viewers to have a stronger sense of connection with the subjects, which is crucial in regard to successfully conveying the core message for the entire documentary. Additionally, the documentary relies heavily on interviews to provide critical information to viewers. Instead of having constant narration throughout, this allows the subjects to drive the momentum of the message, which creates a greater sense of connection for the audience. It is apparent that through the use of documentary modes, content delivery, and style. Vice News has created a documentary that can make the viewer greatly sympathize with those who were or being kept in captivity, while delivering the core message regarding the fact that some African Americans might still be slaves today. The documentary uses the audience's emotions as a call to action to stop modern slavery and to mend the damages of those who suffered.